I still taste the exhaust from that morning, sharp and acrid, coating the back of my throat like a warning I ignored. The dashboard clock blinked 6:02 in cold red numerals, each digit a tiny blade. 2 minutes late. 2 minutes, and the fragile scaffolding of my life splintered with a sound I felt in my teeth. I cut the engine. The sudden silence rang louder than the motor. Frost glittered on the driveway under the sodium streetlight, and the air bit through my thin jacket, straight to bone. Then the porch light snapped on, harsh as an interrogation bulb, and my mother stepped out dragging a suitcase that wasn't hers. The wheels scraped concrete with a shriek that scraped inside my skull. Behind her, Mara, my sister, glided like smoke, suitcase in tow, mine, the one I'd packed with trembling hands at 2 a.m., folding silk like origami prayers, tucking my passport into the inner pocket as if it were a love letter to a future that was already slipping through my fingers. "Elara," Mom sang, voice too bright, too brittle. "We've decided Mara needs this more. She's drowning in stress, sweetheart. You're always so strong. You'll plan another trip. You always do." The words landed slow, viscous, each one a drop of acid eating through the lining of my stomach. I opened my mouth. Nothing came but the copper tang of blood where my teeth had sliced the inside of my cheek. Mara didn't even glance at me. She flicked her hair over one shoulder, slid into the back seat, my seat, and the leather side like it had been waiting for her. Dad shuffled out last, eyes fixed on the oil-stained concrete, handing me his battered carry-on like I was the bellhop at the end of the world. The weight of it grounded me. Real. This was real. I loaded the trunk in silence. The slam echoed down the empty street, louder than a gunshot, longer than a scream. Inside the car, the air was thick with Mara's vanilla perfume and the sour rot of betrayal. Her voice floated forward, light as dandelion fluff. "Mom, do you think we'll have time for la durée? I saw this macaron tower on TikTok, rose and pistachio, and I'm literally dying." Mom laughed, actually laughed, a sound like shattering crystal, and reached back to squeeze Mara's knee. Dad stared out the window, jaw clenched so tight I heard the grind of enamel on enamel. I kept both hands at 10 and 2, knuckles bleaching the wheel, the highway lights streaking across the windshield like comets I couldn't wish on. Every mile marker was a nail. Every exit sign a door I couldn't open. The radio stayed off. The only soundtrack was Mara's endless chatter about boutiques and brunches, and how the Eiffel Tower looked smaller in real life. It tasted bile. I swallowed it. I drove. At the airport drop-off, the curb was a yellow line painted in hell. Mom hugged me like I was the one abandoning them, her perfume choking me. "Thank you for understanding, sweetheart. This means the world to Mara." Mara waved with fingers tipped in fresh gel polish, the color of poisoned cherries. "You're literally the best, sis. Like iconic." I watched them disappear through the sliding doors, swallowed by the fluorescent maw of the terminal. Then I got back in the car, opened my laptop on the passenger seat, and started deleting. Hotel Lemurus, marble floors and chandeliers like frozen waterfalls canceled. Private tour of Versailles, the Hall of Mirrors at sunrise gone. Same dinner cruise with champagne poured at sunset, refunded. Every upgrade, every prepaid meal. Every whisper of the dream I'd stitched together with overtime blood and birthday tears, erased in 8 minutes flat. The cursor blinked like a heartbeat. I shut the laptop. The silence tasted like gunpowder and honey. They landed at 7:42 a.m. Paris time. My phone detonated at 7:43. "Mom. Asterisk, the hotel says no reservation. Call them now. Asterisk. Mara. Asterisk, this is insane, Elara. You're embarrassing us in a foreign country. Asterisk. Dad. Asterisk, we need to talk. This ISN. To you, asterisk." I let it ring until the battery died. Then I went home and unpacked the suitcase I'd packed for myself. Silk dresses still scented with cedar and longing. Heels I'd never wear on the Champs-Élysées now. I hung everything back in the closet like burying a body I'd loved too much to let live. Night 2, I turned the phone on. 72 missed calls. I played the latest voicemail on speaker while I brewed tea that tasted like ash and regret. Mom's voice cracked across the Atlantic, raw as an open wound. "We're in a hostel with 6 bunk beds, Elara. 6. The walls are yellow with nicotine. Your sister is crying in a bathroom that smells like bleach and despair. This is cruel. This is not the daughter we raised. I sipped chamomile. It tasted like victory and vomit. Day 3, I answered. Only because I wanted to hear them beg, wanted to taste their desperation like salt on a cut. Mom first, voice shrill. Why are you doing this to us? We're stranded. Me. Because you did it first. And you smiled while you did it. You smiled while you erased me. Click. Dad tried next. His voice was gravel scraped raw over broken glass. You've always been the glue, Elara. The one who holds us together. Don't let one mistake. 1. I laughed so hard the windows rattled. Try 28 years of mistakes. Try every Christmas where Mara's tantrums rewrote the menu. Try every birthday where my report card was an afterthought because Mara failed algebra again. I'm not glue, Dad. I'm done being the rug you wipe your boots on. Mara got on the line, background noise of a hostel lobby, someone coughing up a lung, a baby screaming like it knew the future. You're embarrassing us. People are staring. Fix it. Good, I said, voice low and lethal. Let them stare. Let them see what happens when you treat someone like an afterthought for decades. Let them see the moment the afterthought bites back. I hung up and blocked them all. The silence that followed was a cathedral, vast and echoing, and I knelt in it. For 6 days, I lived in a hush so complete I could hear my own pulse. I painted the spare room the color of storm clouds bruised with lightning, my color, not theirs. I cooked meals for one and ate them on the porch while the sun bled out across the sky in shades of arterial red and funeral violet. I started running at dawn, lungs burning like incense, legs remembering they belonged to me and me alone. The trail smelled like wet pine and wetter tears, and I drank it in. Then Grace showed up with takeout and zero judgment, kicking off her shoes like she was coming home. Your mom called me, she said, flopping onto my new emerald velvet couch. I told her you were in the middle of a hostile takeover of your own life, and to try back in approximately never. I snorted pad thai. Accurate. She studied me over the carton, eyes soft. You look feral. In the best way. Like you finally bit the hand that fed you crumbs. I feel like I've been carrying their baggage since I was 12, I said, voice cracking on the edges. Turns out it had wheels. And I just cut the straps. They're rolling downhill now. We ate in silence for a while, the kind of silence that doesn't need filling. She didn't ask if I'd cave. She knew I wouldn't. She knew the taste of freedom is addictive. Sunday, Dad called from the landline, unblockable, like a ghost that refused to stay buried. I let it ring twice, then picked up. Elara. His voice was thin as onion skin, ready to tear. We're at the airport. Coming home early. The trip's ruined. We spent 3 nights in a place with a shared toilet that didn't flush. Mara hasn't stopped crying since Lion. I said nothing. The silence stretched, thick with 28 years of unsaid things. He tried again. Your mom's devastated. She keeps saying your name like a prayer. I don't know who you are right now. That makes 2 of us, I whispered. But I'm finally meeting her. And she's furious. She's magnificent. I hung up before he could guilt me into more. The click was final as a guillotine. They landed Monday. I was waiting on their porch swing, coffee in hand, steam curling like incense. The taxi pulled in with a hiss of brakes. Mara stepped out first, hair frizzed into a bird's nest of despair, eyes swollen shut, clutching a paper bag like a life raft. Mom followed, face carved with exhaustion and something that might have been shame if shame had teeth. Dad paid the driver without a word. Shoulders hunched like he was carrying the weight of every bad decision he'd ever smiled through. Mara spotted me. Happy now? We slept in a hostel with bedbugs. Actual bedbugs. I rocked the swing with my toe, slow and deliberate. Define happy. Mom's voice cracked like thin ice over a frozen lake. We ate at a place where the waiter spoke no English, and the menu was in French. I ordered tripe by accident. Tripe Elara. Sounds immersive, I said, voice calm as a blade. Did you bond over the tripe? Did you hold each other while the bedbugs feasted? Dad dropped the suitcases. The thud echoed like a heartbeat. This was extreme, Elara. Extreme, I repeated, tasting the word like dark chocolate and blood. Extreme is saving for 2 years, planning every detail down to the macaron flavors, then being told I'm replaceable because Mara needed a break. Extreme is watching my own sister smirk while she stole my seat on a plane I paid for with blood and birthdays. Extreme is smiling while your daughter bleeds out on the driveway. Mara opened her mouth, then closed it. For once, no comeback. Her lower lip trembled like a child's. I stood. The swing creaked behind me like an old friend. You wanted Paris on my dime. Enjoy the hostel review on TripAdvisor. I hear the bedbugs give it 5 stars. Mom reached for me, fingers clawing air. Nails painted the same red as the lies she told herself. We're family. Family doesn't trade. Daughters like Pokemon cards. Family doesn't smile while they do it. Family doesn't leave one daughter on the curb like yesterday's trash. I walked to my car. Behind me, Mara whispered, "She's insane." Dad's voice, low and broken as a confessional. "No. She's awake. God help us, she's awake." I didn't look back. The gravel crunched under my tires like bones. The next weeks were mine, every sunrise a reclamation. I redecorated, threw out the sagging couch they'd dumped on me in college, bought a velvet emerald one that cradled me like a lover. I took a pottery class on Tuesdays, came home with clay under my nails and a bowl that wobbled but held water, held everything. I hiked at sunrise, phone on airplane mode, the trail mine alone. The air smelled like wet earth and wetter possibility, and I drank it until I was drunk. One night I opened the old spreadsheet, every cancelled line item glowing red like fresh wounds. I highlighted the refunded total, €9,847. Then I opened a new tab, solo trips Italy. My fingers flew. Rome. Florence. Naples. Amalfi. No one else's name on the ticket. No one else's dreams in the margins. I booked it the same week. The confirmation email pinged like a starting gun. Touching down in Fiumicino, the air smelled like espresso and jasmine, and something I couldn't name, freedom, maybe, or the absence of chains. I checked into a tiny hotel with a balcony over the Tiber, dropped my bag, and walked until my feet blistered and bled. I ate carbonara at a table for one, no apologies, the sauce clinging to my fork like a promise. I tossed a coin in the Trevi fountain and didn't wish for forgiveness. I wished for more nights like this, more mornings where the only voice in my head was mine. In Florence, I sat on the Piazzale Michelangelo at golden hour, gelato melting down my wrist in rivers of pistachio and shame I no longer carried. I wrote in the journal I'd carried across an ocean, pages thick with salt and sunlight. Asterisk goals that are. Mine. Speak Italian like I mean it, like I was born to it. Open the bakery I sketched on napkins at 3 a.m., the one with the cracked tile floor and the smell of brown butter. Hike the Dolomites before 35, alone, with a backpack and a heart that doesn't flinch. Never again shrink to fit someone else's frame. Learn to say no without explaining, without apologizing, without bleeding. Fall in love with someone who chooses me first, every day without keeping score. Forgive but never forget. The scars are my map. I underlined the last one twice, the pen digging into the paper like it wanted to stay. Back home, the text trickled in, softer now, edged with something that might have been regret if regret had teeth. Mom. Asterisk hope Italy was kind to you. The house feels too quiet. We'd love to hear about it. When you're ready. Asterisk. Dad. Asterisk proud of you for taking the trip. Miss the sound of your laugh. The porch swing creaks without you. Asterisk. Mara. Asterisk bought you this stupid magnet of the Colosseum. It's ugly. Guess I owe you. A lot. More than magnets. Asterisk. I left them on read. Not cruel. Just breathing. Learning the shape of my own lungs. One Sunday Mom called. I answered on the porch, barefoot, coffee cooling, the sky bleeding lavender and gold. Her voice shook like a leaf in wind, ready to fall. We've been talking. A lot. In therapy even. Mara too. We were wrong. Not just about the trip, about all of it. The way we made you the safety net. The way we let Mara take. The way we smiled while you bled out on the driveway, counting pennies for a dream we stole. I waited. The silence stretched, thick with 28 years of unsaid things, sharp as glass. She continued, voice cracking open. We don't expect forgiveness overnight. But we're trying. Mara's quieter now. She asked me yesterday why you never complained before. I didn't have an answer. I still don't. I traced the rim of my mug, the ceramic warm against my palm. I don't need her quiet. I need her accountable. I need you to see me, not the version who fixes everything with a smile and a spreadsheet, but the one who's been screaming inside for years, lungs raw, heart shredded. You'll have it, Mom whispered, the words a prayer and a plea. We all will. If you let us earn it. If you let us crawl. I exhaled, the sound ragged as torn silk. Earn is the right word. And it starts with space. With silence. With you learning what it feels like to wait. We didn't say I love you. Not yet. But the line stayed open a full minute after words ran out, just breathing, together, across the distance I'd finally claimed as mine. I hung up and opened my journal to a fresh page, the paper crisp and waiting. Asterisk new rule. Love isn't a debt I pay in silence. It's a choice I make with eyes wide open, with boundaries drawn in blood and ink. Asterisk. I booked the Dolomites for September. Solo again. But this time, I left the return date blank. The trail is steeper, the air thinner, but the view, God, the view. Jagged peaks like teeth, sky so blue it hurts, and me, standing in the middle of it all. No one's afterthought, no one's glue. I still run at dawn. Some mornings, I pass the spot where I used to park outside their house, waiting to be needed, engine idling like a held breath. Now I keep going. The road curves, the sun rises, and I don't look back. The rearview mirror is empty, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So tell me, have you ever burned the map to find your own way? Have you ever stood in the ashes and realized the fire was yours? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. And if this hit you in the chest like a fist made of light, hit subscribe. We're just getting started.